yourself Western and Eastern. Eastern versus Western philosophy. Have you ever wondered about the differences between Eastern and Western philosophies? Apart from geographical location, these two parts of the world have differences in their way of life and the approach to life in general. This way of living are not only brought about by topography and physical circumstances that play crucial factors in living, but also the school of thought that governs the major societies in the eastern and western part of the globe. Kaning eastern ug western, di lang kani sa lugar lang sila nagkalahi. Ug nagkalahi pun sila sa ilang panginabuhi ug unsaon nila pagpamaagi sa para sila mabuhi. Ug dili lang po kani kuanan ni siya sa topography and physical circumstances. Nagkalahi po sila sa ilang pagdisiplin, belief, social movement, economics, cultural movements, or art movement. Eastern philosophy, on the other hand, is from Confucianism, Mahayana Buddhism, and Taoism. Thus, it's safe to say that Eastern philosophy is classical Chinese. Classical Chinese, modern siya nga, a traditional style of written Chinese that evolved from the classical language. Muni iyang gikuan sa Eastern philosophy, while ang Western philosophy is more Latin in its roots. Muni yung kaning Western philosophy ilang kuan kasagaran gamiton is mga kanang na mga root word. Example sa mga kaning root word is root, bini, meaning, good. Example, benefit or benefactor. Western philosophy is referred to as the school of thought from Greek philosophy that influenced the greater part of Western civilization. In contrary, the Eastern philosophy is based mainly in Asia, more specifically the Chinese philosophy.
Good day, ma'am. I'm Ivy Donaire from Section I. So our topic is about the self, Western and Eastern. So the main differences between the school of thought or the philosophies of the East and West are the West individualism and the East collectivism. So individualism is the moral stance, political philosophy, ideology, and social outlook that emphasize the intrinsic worth of the individual. So in Western is usually described as individualistic, and people are characterized as having a more independent view of the self. So they tend to value success and self-improvement such as personal traits, belief, and attitude. So they promoting self-expression, individual thinking, and personal choice. Next, collectivism is a political theory associated with communism. More broadly, it is the idea that people should prioritize the good of society over the welfare of the individual. So in Eastern, they giving a group priority over each individual in it. So they are working as a group, not individual, and doing what's best for society. So example of individualism. When you support yourself financially and do not depend on anyone else for your needs, then that's individualism. And for collectivism, example, children in collectivist societies are likely to take care of elderly parents if they fall ill and will change their plan in the event of a family emergency. So that's it.
Play.
Collectivism is a practice or principle of giving a group priority over each individual in. On the example, it's very understandable that children will take responsibility of their elderly parents. Collectivism is all about practicing a group priority over an individual interest. Example of collectivism. Children in collectivist societies are likely to take care of elderly parents if they fall ill and will change their own plans in the event of a family emergency. As a result of globalization, the world is becoming a more multicultural place with people from different ethnic groups and religious backgrounds living, working, and cooperation in the same place without giving up their own identities, beliefs, and values. Diversity may make a country stronger and more dynamic. We have cultural differences. We Filipinos have different practices, norms or values, beliefs, language, and more. Eastern and Western cultures have different perception of power and more distance. Eastern cultures tend to have a very hierarchical structure where Western cultures are more egalitarian. Western and Eastern have different cultures, and we Filipinos have different religions, but we all have the same citizen. Eastern culture versus Western culture. Arranged marriage are common. Love marriage are common. People are conservative and traditional. People are not as traditional and conservative than those in East. Easterners give more priority to family and elders. Westerners give preference to the individual. Freedom may be restricted. Westerners are relatively freer than people in the East. People may express their emotions in a subtle way. People may express their emotions openly and directly. Women may be expected to play a traditional role. Women may have a better place in society. Thank you.
Good day, everyone, especially to you, ma'am. Good day. My name is Gerson Z. Calfoforo from Section I. Okay, my topic for today is the self in Eastern and Western thought. Okay, ang Eastern thought is na siya three kind of religion, which is ang first, Confucianism, ang second, Taoism, then last is Buddhism. Okay. Confucianism. The identity and self-conscious of an individual is interwoven with the identity and status of his, her community or culture, sharing its pride as well as the self, Western and Eastern, its failures. Self-cultivation is the ultimate purpose of life. Subdued self. Okay, ang kaning Confucianism, ang pag-ila og ang pagkamahuna-hunaon sa ugalingon sa usa ka individual nga naglambigit sa pag-ila og tahimtang sa iyang kalamidad o kultura, sharing its prides as well as the self, Western and Eastern, its failures. Okay, ang pagpaambit sa iyang garbo ingon man ang kaugalingon nga Western ug Eastern. Okay, the self-cultivation is the ultimate purpose of life. Okay, kuan daw siya, ang pagtikad Sa kaugalingon mao ang katapusang katuyuan sa kinabuhi. Okay. So unsa man di ay ni siya ang Confucianism? Ang kani siyang Confucianism mao ni siya ang usa ka karaan nga sistema sa pagtuo sa China nga nagpunting sa kahinungdanon sa personal nga pamatasan ug sa moralidad. Nya kining Confucianism pod labi daw masabtan nga usa siya ka giya sa pamatasan sa kinabuhi ug pagkinabuhi nga adunay lig-on nga kinaiya. Nya kining Confucianism or Confucianismo gibasi ni siya or gabasi kuno sa bug-os nga pagkamabination, pagtahod sa usag-usa ug kanang pagdayeg sa mga hiyas sa kinaiya. Hiyas means kanang bertud manggor na siya or abilidad. Then Confucianism gabasi po ni siya sa kuan kanang gabis po daw ni siya sa pagtuo nga ang katilingban mulambo ra daw kung ang mga tao makakaton sa pagpakig-uban sa positibo sa usag-usa. So mao to siya ang Confucianism. Taoism. Okay, the self is not just an extension of the family or the community, it is part of the universe, one of the forms and manifestations of the tao. Selflessness. Okay. Ang Taoism daw is ang kaugalingon dili lamang extension sa pamilya o komunidad. It is part of the universe, one of the forms and manifestation of the tao. Kini daw kuno bahin usab sa universo or sa universe. One of the forms and manifestation of the tao. Usa pud kuno siya ka porma ug pagpakita sa tao. So unsa man ni ang Taoism? Okay. Ang Taoism daw kuno or kanang Taoismo usa ni siya ka relihiyon ug pilosopiya gikan sa karaang China nga naka-impluwensya sa tinuohan sa mga katawhan ug nasud. Ang kaning Taoismo nagtuo ni siya nga ang mga tao ug ang mga mananap daw kinahanglang magkinabuhi nga balansi sa tao o sa kalibutan. Nya kining kuan kaning Taoismo pod or Taoism usa ni siya ka Chinese nga relihiyon nga pilosopiya nga nagtuo pod nga ang mga tao kinahanglang magkinabuhi og yanong matinud-anon nga kanang kinabuhi. O di ba grabe kay ang ilang pagtuo? So tininuod jud ang ilang pagpanginabuhi dili sama sa atoa nga sagulan pagbisyo-bisyo, sugal ug unsa pa na diha nga uban. So ang ila dili gyud pareho ang panginabuhi daw sa ato. Kay ang ila wala daw ni sila'y kanang sagol binuang og tininuod jud ning ilaha. O di ba? Sana all na lang kayo tininuod. So mao na siya ang Taoism. Okay. Next is Buddhism. Okay, Buddhism. The self is seen as an illusion born out of ignorance, of trying to hold and control things or human-centered needs. Thor, the self is also the source of all the sufferings. Okay. The self is seen as an illusion. Ang kaugalingon nakita nga usa ka ilusyon na tawo gikan sa pagpakawalay alamag, sa pagsulay sa pagpugong o pagpugong sa mga butang o mga kanang panginahanglanon nga nakasentro sa tawo. Thor, the self is also the source of all these sufferings. Ang kaugalingon mao daw usab ang gigikanan sa tanan niini nga mga pag-antos. So Buddhism, unsa man ning Buddhism? Kini daw Buddhism or Buddhista mao ni siya usa ka dakong relihiyon sa kalibutan ug nagsugod sa 2,500 na katuig ang milabay sa India. Og kini pod nga mga Buddhista nagtuo po ni sila nga ang kinabuhi sa tawo maoy usa ka pag-antos which is ang pagpamalandong, spiritual og pisikal nga paghago ug maayong pamatasan. Mao daw na sila ang paagi aron makabut ang enlightenment or kanang kalamdagan or paglamdag di ay. Okay, ang mga buhat sa Buddhista sama ni sa sama sa pagpamalandong mao na ang paagi sa pag-usab sa imong kaugalingon aron nga mapalambo ang mga hiyas sa kahibalo ug ang pagkamabination og kaalam. Then ang last kining Buddhism or Buddhismo mao ni siya usa ka dili bitaw tistiko nga relihiyon. Unsa man ning dili tistiko? kanang dili tistiko is mao ni siya ang kanang dili bitaw mo tuo og Ginoo, or kanang dili sila mo tuo og kanang magbubuhat kanatong tanan, dili sila mo tuo na. Kaya ang ilang gituohan ani or ilang ginasimba is kanang Buddha or Buddha bitaw, kanang color gold na siya niya, kanang nay arios-arios sa mga dunggan. So mauna sila muna ang kuan sa ilang muna ang ilang ginatuohan, dili ni sila mo tuo og Ginoo niya. Kaning Buddhism pod muna ang ilang ginasimba kanang mga Buddha or Buddha ba na ang ginatawag ana. Okay, mo na siya ang Buddhism. So, maora na akong topic. I hope nga na amoy na learn gamay. And that's all. Thank you.
Western perspective. The focus is always looking towards itself. Differences between Eastern and Western. The Eastern philosophy is drawn much more into groups or society or people's action and thoughts as one in order to find meaning in life, as they try to get rid the false me concept and find meaning in discovering the true me in relation to everything around them or as part of bigger scheme. Western. In contrast, the Western civilization is more individualistic, trying to find meaning of life here and now with self at the center, as it is already given and part of the divine. Differences between Eastern and Western thoughts. Eastern thoughts prevalent in Asian countries related to collectivism take more of a spiritual approach. Western thoughts deals with individualism, more hands-on, mainly used in the western part of the world such as in the European countries.